balefwaya nanguta balefwaya o ichebo ichitumbi chikabwela kuno. We are going to put him to rest here. Mulefwaya ta mulefwaya. That is how it is. Said whether or not the body is in South Africa, here in Zambia, the Maldives, the UK, the precedent has been set. Our former heads of state, every single solitary one of them, must be laid to rest here in the homeland.
What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to J.
Are you hearing this? Are you listening to what I'm saying? Are you hearing what I'm telling you? The precedent has already been set. Whether or not the body is in South Africa, here in Zambia, the Maldives, the UK, the precedent has been set. Our former heads of state, every single solitary one of them, must be laid to rest here in the homeland. It makes no sense whatsoever. It doesn't matter how much you try to spin it. It doesn't matter how much you try to alter it. It doesn't matter how many sprinkles of propaganda dust you want to cover over it. The fact still remains, ECL, by virtue of the fact that he is and served as president of this great republic, deserves to be laid to rest here. End of story. Everything else is superficial. Everything else has an ulterior motive, as is the case now. Now, if you look clearly and closely at the reasons Makebi Zulu put forward for them changing their minds, because remember, when ECL passed away on the 5th of June 2025, immediately HH and his administration sent a ZAF plane to South Africa, and it stayed there for more than 2 weeks in the hopes that the family will take advantage of government's involvement. Well, the government disdained that. They said, no, we don't want your plane. We're gonna hire a private jet. We're gonna charter a private airline to repatriate our loved one's body. And this is where Valden Findlay came in, because he orchestrated, he was very instrumental in the process of repatriating ECL's body by using a private plane through one of his colleagues. Now, the reason Edgar Lungu's family, namely Tarsila Lungu, Makebi Zulu, Esther Lungu, the reason they put a bullet through that process, they gave 3 reasons why they changed their minds. And these 3 reasons, when you hear them, when you listen to them, when you read the reasons, they are flimsy, they are tepid, they are inconsequential, they don't make any sense whatsoever. Let's go through them. Number 1, Makebi Zulu said the reason we changed our minds, remember there was a day, it was a Wednesday, they were supposed to repatriate the body on a Wednesday. Everybody was waiting with bated breath. Zambians all over this country were waiting to see that plane land on Zambian soil and finally begin the process of putting ECL to rest. Makebi Zulu came on air and he announced, Kuti, we have changed our minds because of these 3 reasons. Number 1, Makebi Zulu said, the family are angry that you included Hakainde Hichilema in a program that we had initially agreed that he would only be involved at Mulungushi. But you have changed the program and said the president will be involved at the showgrounds. Number 1. Number 2, Makebi Zulu said, RDA, Road Development, Road Development Agency, we're working on a road that led to the house of ECL. Those roadworks were going to interfere with the transportation of ECL's body from Mulungushi Conference Center to the house, and then from the house back to Mulungushi Conference Center. Their idea was to every day from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, their plan was the body was to be moved every day from Mulungushi to ECL's house, from ECL's house back to Mulungushi. For 3 to 4 days, they wanted that. Now, they were saying the road works that RDA had launched were going to interfere with the flow of that program. What did the government do? The government said, okay, RDA, down tools. Stop what you're doing. Let the road be open and free so that ECL's family can drive through the road uninhibited, unblocked, undelayed, so that there's a smooth flow of traffic. The administration put a stop to the RDA works. They said, stop. Lastly, Makebi Zulu said, the government has stopped the general public from going to the airport to receive ECL's remains. This administration, UPND, Hakainde Hichilema and his band of brothers have stopped the general public from going to the airport to receive the remains of ECL. The government gave a very clear and simple reason why that was. Security concern. It was a security concern because the government knows that when you unleash 10, 15, 20,000 ECL PF cadre supporters and you allow them free reign on the inside and the outskirts of an international airport, you're causing disaster. You're simply, it's like hogs to a trough. It's like the migration of the wildebeest. It would have been total bedlam. The cadres would have lost their minds. And on top of that, imagine now the cadres escorting the body from the airport through Great East Road and onwards. Cadres would have just lost their minds. They would have just said, no. Iwe, choka murodi we, fuma munshira, tudimakateka. Tamwena tudimakateka iwe. Twara chitoba chimonto kachowe iwe. Ifani olo. Uladiyei. Hey. Uladiyei. That is all that was going to happen. It was just going to be total confusion and bedlam. The administration recognized that and they said no. Only a select few will be allowed to receive the body at the international airport when ECL's remains arrive. Makebi Zulu and his band of brothers rejected that notion. Makebi Zulu and his band of brothers rejected that line of logic. They said, no, we want the cadres to be there. We want all types of, turefwaya ti ama cadres ngaba baira, kubaira okonga na bakolwe babaire, so that bambo kupange chongo chitumbinga chaisa. We want them to be drugged to the hilt, drunk to the hilt, so that when ECL's body arrives, they run amok. They cause confusion from KK International Airport till wherever they were going. The government foresaw that and said, no, we can't have that. That's not practical. That is being irresponsible. Ama shops mulemu International Airport ngabali chitabandalize ama kadas. Imi otoka ngabali toba. Ngachali ngase hey. They knew that. Makebi Zulu said, no, you are being disingenuous. You are sidelining us. You are disenfranchising PF cadres from mourning their former leader, which is nonsense. Now, when Makebi Zulu announced that there will be no repatriation, the body will not be arriving on Wednesday. The next thing we began to hear was the family was contemplating possibly depositing ECL in the soil of South Africa. Now, that does not make any sense. Let me explain why. Let us assume the family say this is a private affair, which it cannot be a private affair because ECL belongs to the Zambian people, along with you, the family. ECL does not just belong to Tassila and Esther and Daliso and the like. No. By virtue of the fact that he served this nation, he served 7 years as 6th president of this republic. Because of that, he belongs to you, he belongs to me, he belongs to us, the people of Zambia. That is how it is. Like it, leave it, loathe it, or hate it. That is how it is. So, they said, no, we are going to bury ECL in South Africa, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The idea, the conspiracy theories that are coming out of this funeral are so ubiquitous, they are uncountable. One of the conspiracy theories is ECL is not dead. Where does that conspiracy come from? It comes from the fact that very few people outside of the conclave, outside of the inner circle, outside of the inner sanctum of the ECL family have seen that body. Given Lubinda himself has not seen that body. Raphael Haijaka Nakachinda has not seen that body. Not too long ago, Raphael was on Diamond TV. He was on an interview where he was asked point blank, have you seen the body of ECL? That is a simple question. There is nothing disingenuous about that question. There is nothing puzzling about that question. It is a straightforward, simple question. You, being a member of the PF, have you seen the body of ECL? What did Raphael Haijaka Nakachinda do? He started now tiptoeing through the tulips. No, that is a malicious question. That is a very malicious question. Why are you asking me that? The journalist said, the interviewer said, no, we want to know. Have you seen ECL's body? No, me, I'm not going to answer that question. Why? Why wouldn't he answer that question? That type of response further lends itself to more conspiracy theories. Do you understand now why there are people, not only here in Zambia, there are people in South Africa, England, America, who are convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that ECL is not dead. Why? Because of responses like that. Because there's this idea that who has seen the body? On top of that, the PF have tried to cleverly, in a very clever skullduggery way, although we know they're very dour, those chaps. They're very dour indeed, because they tried to spin it to make it sound and look as if HH personally wants to have a private viewing session of the body, because according to the PF, there's something HH wants to do to the body. Mwendo shimwe. Ba PF nindo shitya sheka. Out of all the things you can come up with, you honestly can sit there and say, HH wants to do something supernatural with the body. You idiots, stupid idiots. You don't have the best interest of the country at heart. You only worry about your own self-aggrandizement and political survival. Nothing else. Nothing else. That is stupid. To even suggest that the head of state wants a personal viewing of the body to do a personal thing, that is nonsense. We all want to view that body. Why? Because body viewing is a normal part of the funeral process. Understand that. Say it in the comments. Landeni my comments. Bantu mwena Zambia. These politicians, when they mean to mislead you, they'll make you think something is abnormal when it's just normal. Say it in the comments. Body viewing is a normal part of the funeral process. There is nothing strange. There is nothing abstract. There is nothing demonic. There is nothing supernatural about body viewing. Every funeral has body viewing. Yes, there's some cultures that don't have. Those are the exception. Because I know some of you are going to know, well, watch Tower. Who cares? My point is, body viewing is a normal part of the funeral process. So there's nothing supernatural when you hear that the head of state is saying the body has to be viewed and identified, not by him personally and solely, because the PF are trying to spin this narrative. HH has no interest in personally viewing the body, not on a personal level, no. But as a Zambian, as a citizen of this country, everybody has the right to demand to see that body, that it is indeed there, it is indeed deceased, and it is indeed the body of the former and sixth president of this republic. Don't complicate things where complication is not needed. But this is, you see, this is the goal of the PF. This is the sinister goal of the PF, to confuse and to set free a red herring and to scapegoat, divert, deflect attention from the real issue and make you, the Zambian populace, start running around talking about nonsense and idiosyncratic issues. The issue is simple. ECL passed away. ECL must be identified as our former head of state in that casket. Lastly, ECL must be buried, put to rest in Zambian soil. Why? Because the PF set a precedent with the case of Kenneth Kaunda. Those are facts. Undeniable, immutable facts. You can't argue with that. So when you see the PF doing what they're doing, it is for self-preservation. It is political survival. It is an attempt to use a body for campaigns, political purposes. These chaps, ngakwali bendoshi mchalo na PF. Ngapali bendoshi pano esonde ni ma PF. How, with 5 senses, you are parading a body for political purposes, knowing that in 2026 you're going for elections? You are grasping at straws because you are going to use everything at your disposal, everything within your power, to lend to this idea, kuti alebwenelapo, dead or alive. You cult leaders, you witches, mwefi pululu mwe, mwendo shimwe. It won't work. The Zambian people see right through you, and it's not going to happen. When the dust settles, this is my view. In my view, when the dust settles and when the dew dries, balefwaya nanguta balefwaya o ichebo ichitumbi chikabwela kuno. We are going to put him to rest here. Mulefwaya tamulefwaya. That is how it is. Brothers and sisters, boys and girls, that is the correct analysis of this situation as it stands. And if you don't look at it in that way, you'll be misled. You'll be misled. Okay. Thought I'd share that with you. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to JQ News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates on tech, politics, and everything in between. Until next time, stay cool.